Hi, I'm Vicki Miller, and today I am introducing Deputy Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel, and we're going to talk about Philadelphia's new Directive 152. Can you tell me a little bit about it and how it came to fruition?
Well, listen, I appreciate the opportunity, Vicki, to kind of talk about that. It actually starts with the police commissioner early in the process. About a year ago, he gave me the assignment to be the LGBT liaison for the Philadelphia Police Department. As a result of that meeting and as a result of that assignment, I started to meet with members in the community and as well as the group. Listened to a lot of complaints that had been out there historically over the years of issues in our transgender community and things that were occurring. And so I felt it was important that we needed to come up with a directive to really guide our officers on how their conduct should be in the community. Went back to the commissioner. He agreed with that process. And through that, I work with the members of the committee. I work with the DA's office, Nellie Henderson over there, who's a LGBT liaison for the DA's office. And she did a lot of the work, as well as Lieutenant Clark, who runs our PPD 2020, and really tasked them with really looking across the country at some very strong policies that have been put in place that directed their men and women as to how to go about conducting themselves. And from that, they reached across to San Francisco and other parts, LAPD, some other agencies, and was able to collectively put together what I thought was a strong policy. And what we did was we shared it with members of the community to really get their input, and clearly there's sometimes you can't get everyone, so we understand that, but the police department's been here for 215 years and there was no policy on transgender.
Okay, so, can you tell me a little bit about the content of the policy and what it entails?
Well, first and foremost, and I have it here in front of me, but I wanted to share with you and your audience. The key thing here that I think is most important, and it says, the first line, I'll read that in Section 2 of the policy, is treat all persons with courtesy and dignity, which is inherently due to every person as a human being. And that, to me, is key no matter what. Regardless of who you encounter in the public, your actions should be dictated by what that says. But one of the things that was really important for the policy was, one, some definitions. It can be challenging, you know what I mean? So we do have at least 2 or 3 pages to educate our officers on what the historical definitions were, what the present definitions are. So they really had a base of knowledge. When I came over as the liaison, I was really confused, and a lot of verbiage and old school verbiage and things that would be offensive to you or someone else. So we had to make sure we educated the officers. Then the next part was the issue of pronoun uses. How do I address Vicki? How do I address those folks in the community in a proper and a dignified way that is not offensive? So we thought that was important to lay down the structure of what that would entail. And then one of the key issues was the media. All too often we had, in those that we encountered in the community, because of something occurring in the community, particularly those levels of violence, that how that pronoun usage should be used. And it was a lot of back and forth as to, he or she. And so we made the strong decision based on looking at a lot of the data that we use the pronoun that person lived their lives. And then if we did not, or there was some conflict, then we would not refer to the gender at all. And I thought that was also big, because if you're going to live your life as a female and you take on the name of a female, then it is our department's responsibility to make sure we respect that. And so that was another issue that was very, very strong in the community, and we felt it was important that we address that. And looking at the data across the country, that was occurring. That's what was happening. And the other issue is outlining how we, inside the actual lockup, when we do make arrests, right. There are issues of safety. And so we wanted to spell that out so, that anyone reading the policy would know why we do separation. It is not just because of some bias. It is because of safety issues and safety concerns, both for the person who has been arrested and those in custody, to ensure that we don't put anyone in harm's way. And so we think across the board, we have a policy. Can it get stronger? There's no question about it. But I think we hit on many of the core areas that have been sitting there simmering for a long time. Commissioner Ramsey has created an environment in the police department that we should be ahead of the curve. And I think when you have a city which is the 4th largest police department in the nation and 5th largest city in the nation, with a department, and when we set that tone, that we're going to be respectful of everyone, in particular our LGBT community or in any of our other communities that struggle with being recognized in a proper way, that we're going to do that. And so I think the policy was captured everything that the commissioner wanted us to do as a department, as an agency. And the good part is that we're getting a lot of feedback from across the nation, from other departments and other individuals who say, we want that policy as well.
That's very interesting. Now, as a transgendered female, yes, we're very concerned about that. We're concerned about how we're treated. But I mean, some people may look at this as trivial, whether you call me Miss or call me Sir. Some people think that that's kind of, you have a lot more important things to do rather than just that. What kind of challenges do we present to you should we be incarcerated?
I mean, well, the challenges in incarceration are sometimes multifaceted, and I won't begin to say I'm an expert on how our jail system works and our processing, but more importantly, particularly in the cases where we have someone who's in transition, who's still maybe transitioning into a female, but still have a male genitalia, putting them in a cell block with females can create a problem should something occur in there, and oftentimes some of our females will attack our transgender person or a person who's transitioning because I don't want that person or him or her or however they're going to identify with that person. So that obviously creates a challenge. And then also the challenge of putting someone who's transitioning into with males. And so it creates a significant challenge because of the safety concerns. More importantly, not just about who are in custody, but more importantly, our responsibility when we bring you into custody is take responsibility for you. And we have a responsibility for your safety. So if you were going to commit suicide, and we believe you're on suicide watch, and we've done our protocols, and we see identifiers that say you may attempt suicide, then we will put you in a particular type of outfit, a jumpsuit. We'll put you in a particular room that'll try to our best ability, and always get it perfect, so you won't do that. And so I think it's important. So it does create challenges because of the environment. And it also creates challenges because people don't understand the policy. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, you did this to her because you believe, because you don't like someone who's a transgender or someone. Well, that's not the case. I mean, that's far from our intent. Our intent is to can we make this a great stay for you? Absolutely not. I mean, coming into custody is not that kind of environment. But it is our responsibility to the best of our ability to maintain your safety, whomever comes into this process. And so I think it just really, really sets a tone. It also delineates for our officers exactly what they're supposed to do, both here from the top. So the policy gives us from a point of contact on the street to the point where you're in custody or may stay in custody to the point you're released, what our roles and responsibilities are for that. And I think, so is it perfect? It's going to take time for this to immerse itself into to the department. It's going to so I can't sit there and say this document in and of itself is going to train one of my officers out there saying something out of an off-color remark or some kind of remark that's going to be. But guess what? For the first time, there will be a policy in place that when you make a complaint, they will be held accountable for those things delineated in this policy, and that'll be a first to be challenged on the policy and be brought before someone investigating that to make sure that's happening. And I think as we go on and we move on as a department, we become better at that. Even now when we're doing the training up the academy, and as we spoke earlier about the academy training, we're really introducing our officers to the training, understanding what's going on, makes them better in their capacity. And you hope as time goes on, I've been at this for 28 years. Vicki, I can tell you we were a far cry from where we were 28 years ago to be where we're at, to doing the things that we're doing. And making these significant steps, I think we've come a long way.
So with the police academy, you're at that level, you're going to be doing sensitivity training with them so that they can better understand our community. And so I understand there's also the whole LGBT liaison department that's working with our community as well. Yeah,
so you have the LGBT community that I work with, liaison. Fran oversees that, and Rick Lombardo, and we all work collectively for the issues that are occurring in the LGBT community. It doesn't grab everyone in the city. I mean, I'm working in other areas. Recently just started working with Ruth from the Department of Human Relations and other folks in city government. To make sure I'm reaching all the areas of the city. But we also think it's important, and we've been doing that for a period of time. The LGBT community liaison group will go up to the academy. Will provide instruction on the issues going on in the community. We now have a directive, so they're spending time going over the directive and really highlighting some of the key issues. We get individuals from the community to come up and talk to our officers, so they have a full template. So that, and we do disproportionate minority contact. We do a whole series of introductions to them, so they understand one, the importance, because for it to be at that level at the academy, they get to understand the importance of it. Clearly, my role is overseeing all the patrol. Really raises the bar, because I have the responsibility under Commissioner Ross and Commissioner Ramsey to run all the patrol operations for the city. So when they see me taking on that role, both as my liaison capacity, coming up there, not all the time, but being a part of the training, doing the types of things I'm doing now, interviews with you, to really understand this is not about paper. I don't do things in the department. We're not doing things just to do it. It could be nice and, oh, okay, well, listen, look at what we're doing. What your expectation is when you call me and say, let's do an interview, don't turn me away, because if you really believe in what you're doing, you're going to sit down and we're going to have an interview like two people who would interview any other time. And so respecting that process and understanding with that makes it a very strong process going forward. So it's important to do it in the academy. We're going to hopefully soon be doing some training within the divisions and districts to make sure that they understand what the policy means, understand what their role is, and continue that part of outreach, because we have a long way to go. I mean, we've shut a lot of these issues out for a long time. And so we just can't say just because the police department opened the door, people are going to come running in. You have to earn that trust. You have to earn that respect back. I think it's going to take time to do that, but I think, interviews and doing this and policies, people say, well, maybe they are. And I think hopefully we'll set the tone that as we move forward becomes part of, embedded in the department is what we supposed to be doing, should have been doing, and will continue to do.
Well, that's very interesting. In talking to several of the girls in my community, a lot of them do have trust issues. Mm-hmm. And I think with this new directive, I think it'll help break down those barriers and help make things better for the transgender community. I mean, there's over 46,000 of us in the city. That's a lot of people.
And you would hope. I mean, listen, this is new to me. So I'm not no expert. I mean, I don't sit here like, hey, all of a sudden I'm the LGBT expert. I have no idea of what happens in the community. I've seen it. I mean, I'm just on this side of policing. And so I think, yes, it is clearly the issue is about trust. And you can't take trust. It's given. And you have to demonstrate. How do you demonstrate that? By taking little steps at a time. Somebody, you can pick up the phone and call me. Okay? I mean, you come in and I introduce myself. This is the third time we've met each other. You start to do those things. And so when somebody calls you and say, hey, listen, there's something going on in the community, who can you call? Well, listen, call me, and I'll call Deputy Bethel, and something's going to happen. Because then the next step is I do something. Exactly. And then and so, it takes neighborhoods where policing has always not been viewed as a positive thing. Even to this day, we still struggle in those communities. Have we gotten better? Absolutely. But we still have a long way to go, because there's still a lot of historical mistrust that's been passed down for years. So I don't ever sit here and expect that that's going to change overnight. I would hope, as someone who's representing the community and someone who knows folks, that as we build that along, you be the messenger. You know what I mean? And are we still going to get it wrong? Yes. I mean, that's why I tell people, they can't build this thing, it's not going to be perfect. You're going to call me one day and say, one of your cops act like this. You're right.
Well, we're all human.
Right, and that's what I mean, but it's still a process, you know what I mean? But I think, just like anything else, I mean, 99% of my cops do everything they're supposed to do every day. And we have a small percentage, yes, that steps out, both whether it be for corruption or disrespect. And so we deal with that percentage. But my gut tells me that I have a very strong workforce, a very understanding workforce, a workforce that understands the changing dynamics. And I think Commissioner Ramsey has created that environment in the department where growth and understanding and acceptance and respect and integrity are all part of who we are as an agency.
Well, I'd like to thank you for taking the time today so that we can help get the word out a little bit to the trans community and maybe make life a little bit easier for everybody.
Well, listen, I appreciate the opportunity, Vicki, and I appreciate you coming in and doing the interview. And again, if any help I can be, I'm here.
Okay. Thank you very much.